This voice doesn't ask for permission. It awakens remembrance. You're here because you're ready, not by chance, but because you were chosen to arrive at this very moment. As you listen, you may wonder why you feel called tonight, but the answer is hidden within you, waiting like a seed beneath the soil. The universe doesn't shout. It sends invitations dressed as echoes. You followed that echo here. And as these words sink beneath your waking thoughts, they'll find the gate of your subconscious, the keeper of all reality. Your subconscious isn't just memory. It's the architect of the life you walk through each day. It arranges what you call fate. It responds to the symbols you carry, and it builds futures in silence. You're not simply hearing this message. You're being rewritten by it. The moment you surrender to this voice, you begin to walk a new path, one chosen not by fear, but by the remembrance of who you are. Don't think of this as a book. Think of it as a code, a vibration, a hidden map. Every phrase you hear tonight is a key sliding into the locks of your inner temple. The doors you believed were sealed will open. The wounds you thought eternal will dissolve. The destiny you thought forgotten will reveal itself. This isn't instruction, it's activation. You're not late, you're not behind. You stand at the threshold exactly when you're meant to. Every night you carried restlessness was preparation. Every tear shed in silence was a baptism for what begins now. You are entering a new manuscript where the old story fades like mist and the new one writes itself in gold. So let your body rest. Let your mind soften. Let this voice fall into the spiral of your being. Do not try to control. Do not try to analyze. Simply allow, for what is about to unfold is not given to the mind, but to the soul. When you close your eyes at night, you aren't escaping life. You are entering the blueprint from which life is created. Every thought, every word, every whisper planted before sleep becomes a command written in the invisible clay of your being. It is here that the invisible dictates the visible. Sleep is not an ending. It is the beginning of becoming. There's no resistance in sleep, no wall of doubt to defend the illusions of the day. This is why it has been called the open gate, a passage where words sink deeper than in waking hours. Imagine your mind as soil, freshly tilled and waiting for seeds. In this state, whatever you allow inside doesn't argue. It takes root. Night by night, a new garden grows in secret. The ancients knew this well. They would guide people into chambers of stillness, letting the body rest while the soul was whispered into. Words spoken in the dark were believed to echo forever. If you've ever wondered why your life repeats the same cycles, look not to your actions, but to what was planted in your unconscious nights. Old fears and old stories repeated themselves while you drifted. But tonight, the pattern bends. Tonight, a new current flows beneath the surface of your soul. Breathe gently and imagine yourself crossing a bridge woven of silver threads. On one side is the noise of the day. On the other, the quiet power of the night. Each step you take is lighter, dissolving the weight you carried. When you reach the center, let go of the old story. The bridge itself becomes your passage into remembering. As you drift, the body feels heavy, but the spirit grows vast. Every muscle loosens, every thought slows, and stillness wraps you like sacred cloth. This is preparation, not emptiness. You are not falling into sleep. You are rising into a higher chamber. The subconscious, your eternal scribe, waits with open pages. What you give it now, it will write into your destiny. Children know this truth before they are taught to forget it. They imagine dragons, heroes, and kingdoms, and their bodies react as if those things were real. The subconscious can't distinguish between what is imagined and what is truly happening. This is why symbols and stories penetrate deeper than facts. Your inner child was fluent in this language long before you began to silence it. Repetition is its grammar. Rhythm, its punctuation. Every night you repeat a phrase. Every time you visualize an image, you carve a pathway into your subconscious. At first, the path is faint like footsteps in sand. But return again and again, and it becomes stone. What you rehearse becomes your living script. You may have noticed how easily fear programs itself. A single painful moment repeated in your memory becomes a prison. Why? Because the subconscious was imprinted with emotion. The stronger the feeling, the deeper the engraving. This is the ink with which your life has been written. But tonight, you hold the power to change the script. Close your eyes and picture a golden spiral unfolding before you. Each curve carries words, not as sounds, but as living flames. They burn themselves into your heart not with pain, but with light. As you watch, feel the truth in those flames. The subconscious does not resist fire that warms. It welcomes it and becomes it. The ancients spoke in riddles, metaphors, and sacred symbols because they knew the subconscious couldn't understand rigid reason. A parable bypasses walls. A symbol seeps past the guards of doubt. This is why myths survive longer than arguments, and why poetry can heal when explanations cannot. The subconscious listens to what is veiled in mystery. Now, imagine whispering a single phrase to yourself. I am the field. Don't just say it. See it, feel it, become it. Picture yourself as the endless sky, as an infinite expanse. Let the phrase vibrate in your bones until your cells believe it. The subconscious records this vision and, in doing so, begins to shape it outward. Words become worlds. Learning this language isn't about study. It is about remembrance. You once spoke it effortlessly in dreams, in play, in imagination. Tonight, you return to it with reverence. And as you master its symbols, its rhythm, its emotion, you master creation itself. For the subconscious is not your enemy or your jailer. It is your ally, waiting for your command. Imagine trying to hold water in your fist. The tighter you grip, the less remains in your palm. Resistance works the same way. The more you struggle to force change, the faster it slips through. Yet when you open your hand, water rests gently and naturally. Life flows into you in the same manner when you release control. Every thought of what if it fails is a wall built inside you. Each wall keeps the voice of transformation echoing outside, unable to penetrate. The subconscious waits patiently, ready to receive, but doubt acts as a locked gate. The key is trust, not effort. Letting go is not weakness, it is alignment. True power does not strain or demand. It flows like rivers carving valleys. Trust allows the subconscious to hear the voice of destiny without interference. It is in stillness, not struggle, that the deepest shifts occur. The soil doesn't resist the seed, it embraces it. So too must you. Visualize a heavy cloak resting on your shoulders, woven from doubts and fears. Now picture yourself unclasping it, letting it fall to the ground. With its weight gone, you feel lighter, freer, and open. This act of imagination teaches the subconscious the feeling of surrender. It recognizes the symbol and begins to rewrite itself in freedom. Many fear surrender because they think it means a loss of control. But in truth, it is the opposite. Resistance keeps you bound to illusions. Surrender aligns you with creation itself. It is the letting go of the false in order to embrace the real. Whisper now, I release. I allow. I open. Do not force the words. Breathe them. Feel how each syllable unlocks something inside. The subconscious doesn't need dramatic effort. It responds to the authenticity of letting go. Your whispered release is more powerful than 1,000 shouts of command. When resistance fades, the gate swings wide. You find that what you sought was always ready to come forth, waiting only for your consent. Letting go is the bridge from desire to reality. It's the moment you stop pushing and begin receiving. And as you surrender tonight, you step into the effortless current of transformation. To recognize each thought as a seed is to reclaim authorship of your life. Every harvest begins with an unseen planting. Picture a vast garden that belongs only to you. Some corners are lush with flowers, while others are tangled with weeds. Each result came from a thought once sown in silence. What grows tomorrow is shaped by what you choose to plant tonight. This is the secret most overlook. A seed is small, but its potential is infinite. One tiny impression repeated in the stillness of the night can birth entire realities. The subconscious doesn't judge the seed, it simply nurtures it. Whether you whisper abundance or lack, joy or sorrow, the soil makes it grow. The responsibility, then, lies not in the soil, but in the sower. Imagine holding a luminous seed of light in your hand. You press it into the earth of your mind, and it begins to glow. Roots spread beneath the surface, unseen but undeniable. This is how reality emerges from the invisible. The danger lies in forgetting that idle thoughts also plant seeds. Words spoken in anger, fears repeated in silence, all leave their mark. These grow like wild vines, choking what you truly desire. Awareness is the gardener's eye, discerning what must be pulled and what must be nurtured. You cannot force a seed to bloom overnight. Yet with water, sunlight, and time, it becomes inevitable. The same is true for thought. Repetition is the water, emotion the sunlight, and patience the fertile season. Close your eyes now and whisper, "I plant only what serves me." See yourself placing radiant seeds into the dark soil of your inner world. With every phrase, the field brightens. The subconscious records this imagery and begins to weave it into your waking life. As you drift towards sleep tonight, remember nothing is random. Every outcome traces back to a seed once planted in silence. You're not helpless. You are the sower, the gardener, the keeper of the field. Choose wisely what you drop into the soil, and destiny will bloom accordingly. Every night when your eyes close and the body surrenders, another world awakens. This is the realm of dreams, where the subconscious speaks in images, riddles, and symbols. To the untrained eye, these stories seem random, but in truth, they are carefully woven letters from the soul. Each dream is a message waiting for the one willing to listen. Dreams act as mirrors, reflecting both your fears and your hidden longings. A dream of falling may reveal the weight of control you cling to. A dream of flying may whisper of freedom you have not yet claimed. These images bypass the intellect, traveling directly to your heart. In ancient temples, priests recorded dreams as sacred texts. They believed dreams carried the will of the divine, coded in imagery. The message was considered too important to dismiss. You too walk in this lineage when you honor your own dreams. When you wake, hold your dream gently before it fades. Do not rush to dismiss it as nonsense. Instead, ask yourself, what emotion did I feel? What symbol lingered? Often, it's not the entire story that matters, but one fragment, one image, one word that carries the key. That's how the subconscious leaves its clues. There is also wisdom in recurring dreams, the ones that return again and again. They repeat because you have not yet listened. They press at the edges of your awareness, demanding attention. The subconscious will not abandon what matters most. It will send the message in many forms until you finally receive it. To work with dreams is to enter into a dialogue with the self. Each night you may ask before sleep, "Show me what I must see." The subconscious responds to questions with visions. Upon waking, record what you remember, no matter how small. Over time, a pattern reveals itself, like constellations connecting across the sky. Dreams are not interruptions to sleep. They're the very reason for it. They stitch the threads of your life into stories, urging you to remember. To honor them is to honor the language of your deeper being. Tonight, as you drift into sleep, know that your dreams will arrive not as accidents, but as sacred messengers carrying whispers from the soul. There is a secret woven into the fabric of creation. Rhythm is the law that shapes all things. Just as the ocean tides move with precision, so does the subconscious respond to repetition. What is heard once may pass like wind, but what is heard again and again takes root as truth. The mind begins to carve pathways, and soon those pathways become highways directing your destiny. Rhythm is the hammer that shapes the stone of the self. Consider how a song becomes unforgettable, not because it is played once, but because its melody repeats until it lingers in your bones. The subconscious is no different. Every phrase spoken in the night, every affirmation whispered with emotion, creates its own echo. Soon the echo becomes a chorus, and the chorus becomes reality. Old beliefs survive because they were repeated into you since childhood. But permanence is only an illusion. Another rhythm can be chosen. Night by night, a new cadence can override the old. With patience, the rhythm of light erases the rhythm of fear. Imagine striking a drum in darkness, each beat steady and sure. At first, the sound is faint, but with every strike, the vibration grows stronger. Soon the entire chamber hums with resonance. This is how repetition works in the subconscious. The beat you offer consistently becomes the pulse of your reality. Some resist repetition, fearing it is too simple. Yet simplicity is the very reason it holds power. The subconscious thrives on patterns, not complexity. The more consistent the pattern, the faster it imprints. Consistency turns whispers into commands. The danger isn't in losing the voice, but in forgetting to listen. Doubt, fear, and distraction could drown it in noise. Yet even then, it waits patiently like a candle still burning in a darkened room. The moment you return your attention inward, the flame reveals itself. Silence is the doorway through which the voice reappears. Some call it intuition, others call it spirit, and some know it as the higher self. Names don't matter. The experience does. What matters is recognizing its authority. When this divine voice speaks, the subconscious yields. It accepts its words as law because they resonate with your truest essence. This is why such words carry unmatched power. Close your eyes now and imagine hearing yourself speak in a tone you've never doubted. Feel the calm certainty in those words. I am whole. I am chosen. I am eternal. Listen carefully. The resonance you sense isn't borrowed. It's your own voice in divine form, echoing through your being. This is the one you were meant to remember. The divine voice has been waiting for this very moment. To follow the divine voice within is to end the search for something outside. You are not lost. You are being reminded. You are not broken. You are returning to wholeness. Let this manuscript be the mirror that helps you hear again what has always been true. The voice within is not distant. It is home. It speaks now. Creation doesn't arise from tension, but from ease. The subconscious opens not when the mind is frantic, but when the body is calm and the breath is slow. Relaxation is more than rest. It is the key that unlocks receptivity. When the body releases its grip, the soul becomes available. This is why surrendering into stillness is the first act of transformation. Think of a pool of water on a windy day. Waves and ripples distort the reflection, making it impossible to see clearly. But when the air grows still, the surface becomes a mirror. Your mind follows the same law. Tension distorts truth, but relaxation allows clarity. Only in quiet waters can the subconscious reveal its depth. To enter true relaxation is to step out of the prison of control. Muscles soften, thoughts loosen, and the nervous system slows its frantic rhythm. The body becomes a vessel instead of a cage. In this state, suggestions flow into the subconscious without resistance. It is not weakness to rest. It is preparation for mastery. Imagine lying beneath a sky of endless stars. With each breath, you feel the weight of the day dissolving. This release is not an accident. It is a ritual. The subconscious learns by association, and each night of relaxation signals. Now we are ready to receive. The universe itself wasn't born from effort. It emerged from silence, from stillness, from the infinite womb of calm. You mirror the same law. When you allow your being to rest, you return to the cosmic rhythm of creation. In stillness, everything becomes possible. Repeat gently in your mind. I release. I soften. I allow. Let these words guide every muscle into letting go. As the body follows, the subconscious aligns, creating space for new programs to enter. This is not escape. It is alignment with your higher nature. When you discover the power of relaxation, you find strength hidden in stillness. You no longer chase change, you invite it. The subconscious doesn't think in sentences. It dreams in symbols: a door, a flame, a key, a river. These are not simple images, but living codes that bypass logic. When symbols are impressed into the mind, they sink deeper than any explanation. They carry meaning that cannot be erased, for they touch the oldest layers of the soul. This is the alphabet of your inner world. Think of how a single image from a dream lingers long after waking. It may be a staircase, a bird, or a shadow, yet it stays pulsing with hidden meaning. That is the power of symbols. They stay when words fade. The subconscious clings to them, replaying them until their truth reshapes reality itself. Imagine yourself hearing the phrase, "Open the door." If spoken as plain instruction, it may vanish quickly. But if you see in your mind a radiant golden door swinging wide, the subconscious records it. The symbol takes root, carrying layers of meaning: opportunity, freedom, new beginnings. That image becomes a living command, rewriting the inner script. Symbols act like seeds, but they grow faster because they bypass resistance. The conscious mind may argue with logic, but it cannot argue with a vision. If told you're a light, you might question it. But if you see yourself glowing, your body dissolving into radiant beams, doubt has no foothold. The image wins, and the subconscious obeys. Visualize a key of silver light resting in your palm. Feel its weight. See its shimmer. Now imagine placing it into a door etched with stars. As the lock clicks, you step into a chamber filled with radiant possibilities. The subconscious records this as real. From that moment, life begins to mirror the vision. To rewrite with symbols, you must allow yourself to imagine boldly. If abundance is your desire, see yourself standing beneath a waterfall of golden coins that never cease to flow. If peace is your longing, see yourself resting in a field of infinite light. The subconscious receives these images as truth. When you honor symbols, you awaken the language that was spoken before words. Let your nightly listening be filled with keys, spirals, rivers, flames, and stars. Each one will carve new patterns inside you, and soon the symbols will not only rewrite your mind, they will rewrite your life.